Funding is provided by a grant from New York State Senator Catherine M. Young, representing Western New York's 57th District with a local office in Olean.
Senior Report is made possible by a grant from Fredonia Place, a continuing care retirement community providing dignity in a modern luxury environment.
From the Access Channel 5 television studio in Mayville, it's Senior Report with Reed Powers. Senior Report is broadcast live throughout northern Chautauqua County on Saturday morning from 9 to 10 a.m. each week. Call in and share a thought, make a comment, ask a question, or simply wish someone a happy birthday on Chautauqua County's only live call-in senior program. Since 1995, Reed has been bringing viewers hundreds of interesting guests, informing the community on a variety of subjects. Here's the host of the show, Reed Powers.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Doc Hamels, and I want to wish you a great Saturday morning. I can't believe how beautiful it is out this morning. After the huge, long, disgusting, gross, bitter winter we had to deal with, we seem to have skipped spring and slid right into summertime. What a great-looking morning. I was on my way over here and going like, how do I really know that it's spring, summer here? And there was some definite signs that proved it. I saw people bike riding, I saw motorcycles, flowers blooming, and of all, the biggest indicator that I know the weather's good is garage sales are everywhere. So it's a great morning, just swell. Last couple of weeks we ran reruns, gave the crews a little breather here, and as I mentioned last time I was on the show, that we're going to be retooling the show, and as of July, you're going to see a little different format, a little different theme to things, but we're not going to tell you about it till then because I want to keep you in suspense here. But we're kind of reworking Senior Report a little bit, but as we said before, we're still going to include a lot of the ingredients that Reed had put together all those years when he was here with you. So anyways, pull up your coffee, grab a chair, and we've got a great show for you today. Since I last saw all of you, and you saw me, Barb and I went down south for a little vacation. To me, every day's vacation. Barb is still working for my daughter over in Northeast at the salon over there. But we had a great time. Did something, I don't know if you've ever done this before, gem mining. Now, sometimes these gem mines, they are kind of like, they kind of put the ingredients into the buckets ahead of time, and they're sort of like pre-salted, they call that. But we found a mine where they basically go out to the creek bed, they scoop it out, put it in a big pile, and you go over there, grab the dirt in your pail, you go to a water flume or stream of water they've got there, and you sort it out, and we're finding really some cool semi-precious gems. Nothing that we're going to go to the bank with, but just fun things like a lapis, which is a beautiful, beautiful blue stone. I've never seen this before. I mean, from what I understand, it was used in many of the famous paintings back in the medieval times, where they would grind these precious or semi-precious stones down, and they would mix them with their oils to get the pigments of blues. And then there was tiger's eye, and we saw some garnets, and then we went down to Savannah, Georgia. I've never been there before. What a beautiful city. Just a lovely, lovely area, and lots of old southern homes down in there. And we've always driven by there, and it was nothing like I thought it was going to be. And I had my latest, best favorite dish. That I love food, but I'd never had this before. And this might sound a little odd that you would put this combination together, but evidently it's a southern staple. But grits and shrimp. You're thinking, what are you talking about? But somehow they seasoned it just right, and they added, I think it was like maple syrup and they had like caramelized bacon. My mouth's watering thinking about it right now, and some chives and tomatoes in there. And I'm going to tell you, it was outstanding. And down there we get all the shrimp right out of along the coast there. It was just so fresh and so good. Savannah, Georgia, great place. Then we headed down to Florida, and we visited my son and his family and the Wild Boys. They're all growing in sports and that. Then I caught up with my daughter-in-law over in Tampa. She had flown in from Germany, and she was there for some training with the Army. And then where did we go? Then we went up to Pensacola, visited some relatives up there, ran into some folks that we hadn't seen in a long time. Then a wedding. My partner Bill, his stepdaughter Kara got married, and what a wonderful time we had in Kingsport, Tennessee. Did a little gem mining up there too. Got some garnets and sapphires and rubies and things like that. Again, they're American quality, which means North America. The quality is not like Brazilian and Colombian gems, but what a great fun. And you can have them made into jewelry and things like that. So I'm back. I'm refreshed. I got my lawn finally cut down. When I got home, it really was about a foot high. I couldn't believe how much it had grown in that short period of time. So anyways, good to be back, and we've got lots of programs lined up for the summer that I think you're going to enjoy, and we got a few other things that we've got planned for you. Hopefully, I'm not going to announce it because I haven't talked to Chris and the gang about one more project we're working on this summer, but we'll tell you about it probably next time. I guess tell you and remind you that this is a live show. This is Saturday morning, May 31st, and that if you choose to, there it is. Isn't that amazing how we do that here? You can call in. You can share somebody's birthday, anniversary. If you want to just let your politicians know how you feel about something. Not me. I'll just be the conduit of that information. We'll just let that flow through here. But express an opinion, ask a question of our guest or myself. There's the number. So please do call. 753-5225. Okay. And because today is May 31st, I brought a special picture with me, and this guy, I'm going to show you here in a second. He's going to show up here like magic. I want to wish my dad happy birthday. I know he doesn't look as old as he is, but my dad is 91 today. That's my dad celebrating his 90th birthday a year ago today when we were all in Ireland. I don't know if you remember, I was over there last year. And I'll tell you what, he's slowed down a little bit, and thank goodness he slowed down a little bit, because now I can keep up with him. This man walks like a machine, and I called him this morning before we came over to the show today, and I was wishing him a happy birthday. And I said, what are you doing? He said, he's out walking around Delaware Park, 91 years old. He knows everybody in the city of Buffalo, I think. I sometimes walk with him if I visit with him a little bit, and it's hey, Jack, hey, Red, hey, how's it going, John? He goes, it's all these nicknames. I go, who's that? He goes, oh, that's Judge so-and-so. And who's that? And he's an insurance man, and he knows this person, and people are coming up and hugging him. And he's sort of like the mayor of Delaware Park. Everybody knows him, so it's great. Well, anyways, happy 91st birthday, Dad. He lives in Buffalo, but I always send him a link to the show, and he really enjoys watching the show and hearing what's going on in Chautauqua County. Okay, now, I had an opportunity to come up with somebody or something for my wall of shame. I'll tell you, it's been a struggle this week which one I thought was more deserving, because there was two candidates, and I decided to put one candidate maybe to next time because I'm watching the situation. But ladies and gentlemen, it is with great disdain and displeasure that I now induct into Doc's wall of shame the Veterans Administration. Shame, shame, shame on all those people that are involved with what's going on in this atrocious scandal. I gotta tell you, I can't believe that anybody would do any of those things, or the lack thereof. But I wanted to give a shout out to the folks that work at the Veterans Home and Administration down in Erie, Pennsylvania. My father-in-law, my brother-in-law are members of the Armed Forces and veterans, and they get great service there. And I've never heard anything but good things from those folks. So I think it's pockets of folks that have been into this mess, and hopefully they're going to get this straightened out. But as they noted on the news, this has been going on for a long time, and when it's a system kind of wide problem, it's going to take a long time. I don't know how you do it, but I guess just one area at a time. I know Bill, my partner and I, we played for the veterans up in Buffalo at the daycare a couple months ago, and great bunch of people up there. Seemed like it was a well-run organization, but when you hear about these other things out in Phoenix and so forth and the waiting list, that's just not acceptable. And so we're still on the heels of Memorial Day. I want to thank all the veterans out there that have served, men and women. And my son Scott, who's still serving right now, I can't tell you where he is because he'll shoot me, he told me. So it's top secret, but he is overseas. He is in a military zone right now. And it's up in the mountains, and they speak strange languages, I can tell you that much. But anyways, you're protecting other people's lives, and you're trying to make the world a better place, and I thank you. But shame on the Veterans Administration for this lack of service and attention to our most worthy veterans. A couple things I want to share with you. I'm not here to promote the Post-Journal, although I write for them, but the point is that there's great information out there every Monday morning, I believe it is. And I'm not going to paraphrase everything, but I mention this from time to time, especially for seniors, that there are volunteer opportunities. If you're sitting at home and you're saying, man, I've been retired a few years and I don't feel like I'm accomplishing much, give them a call. Talk to Mary Ann Spannell's agency over there at the Office of the Aging. You've got the RSVP program, which is your Retired Volunteers Program. They've got some work opportunities through Linda Spalding's organization, through the Office of the Aging. There's just all kinds of things that you can be doing to keep yourself busy. Plus, in the paper, it lists, at least in the southern tier, in the middle of the county, anywhere from Jamestown, Finney Lake, Mayville, Ripley, and so forth, it tells you what's going on in all the senior organizations. Now, there's no reason to be sitting at home. There's no reason to feel like you're isolated. Get out there. Go visit some folks. And I think you'll be surprised if you go to your local senior group that you're going to see some of your old friends maybe you went to school with. Also, I want to give a shout out to some friends, more or less recent friends in the last couple of years. I see that Dick and Carmen Gilman have been honored at the Fredonia Opera House. They have been honored for all their long-term work with the Opera House. And if you haven't ever met the Gilmans, they are tried and true folk singers. I won't say how far back, as Carmen would shoot me, but Dick wouldn't mind. But they put on a folk free-for-all up at the Opera House every September, and it's free, and I know that they're very supportive of that, and they provide their own funding to keep folk music alive in Chautauqua County. If you haven't figured it out, take a look in the papers or check websites from time to time. There is so much music and arts and culture going around our county here throughout the summer and throughout the year. It's incredible for a county our size. And the Gilmans are certainly deserving of special recognition for their work, especially in the area of folk music. So they're friends of ours. They have been very supportive of me and Bill in our work, doing our Irish and American folk music in the area, and great people, and they play some beautiful music. So I'll tell you what, we're going to do a PSA here and take a little break, and we're going to bring on Karen Harvey that has, I don't know what she's going to talk about. She's always got something interesting, so we'll see what she has to say, and then we'll get to our regular program about the Children's Safety Village. This is for you.
Diagnosis of breast cancer changes your life forever.
She told me I needed a mastectomy.
I was scared.
Absolutely in shock.
But you need to know that you're not alone. There are teams of medical professionals, support groups, and therapists, and those who can help you plan for life after cancer. Before you undergo surgery for breast cancer, get the facts. Make sure you know your breast reconstruction options. For more information, visit broaddayusa.org.
Okay, welcome back, and you are watching the Senior Report, May 31st in 2014, and now we're going to hear from Karen Harvey, our guest commentator. Take it away, Karen.
Thank you. I'd like to give a short tribute to two people who would epitomize very well the Shakespeare phrase, the pen is stronger than the sword. You know Shakespeare, right?
I do.
Okay. Well, there are two authors that we lost this month. Remember Maya Angelou
Right.
and Farley Mowat.
I'm not sure.
Farley Mowat, Never Cry Wolf.
Okay.
They made a movie. Charles Martin Smith was the director, or no, he was the actor. He actually directed the next movie, which was called The Snow Walker. And The Snow Walker was another book by Farley Mowat. Now, Farley Mowat wrote 40 books.
Wow.
Maya Angelou was a leader in her own right, and she passed away at the age of 83 this past week. She gave the inauguration poetry for President Clinton, and she basically is known as a champion for equality and peace, and she has been a leader. As a writer, she wrote a very famous book called I Know Why the Birds Don't Sing. Let me get it right. There's a little poem here that's by her called The Caged Bird. I know why the caged bird sings.
Okay.
I know why the caged bird sings. And this is a rather melancholy little segment, but I thought I'd read just a short bit of it because
Okay.
the woman really deserves recognition, and I have to admit that I'm not real familiar with her until she passed, and now I've looked into it, and Wikipedia and other places
Sure.
are informing me. So this is just a short phrase from that poem. A caged bird stands on the grave of dreams. His shadow shouts on a nightmare scream. His wings are clipped and his feet are tied, so he opens his throat to sing. The caged bird sings with a fearful trill of things unknown, but longed for still. And his tune is heard on the distant hill, for the caged bird sings of freedom.
Wow.
So she was a poet, and she was a fine poet.
I actually am familiar with some of her work over the years, and if you have never read her autobiography, very, very interesting. I won't go into it because I don't want to give it away, but her life is not what you would think that it would have been. No. And then to see the poems and her writings, and I know like Oprah Winfrey and other folks will quote her many times because her wisdom is so deep.
Yeah, and her experience, her youth experience, is the same as Oprah's, the same as Alice Walker, who wrote The Color Purple.
Right.
And they all lived through it and made a great... She actually was silent for 5 years after her childhood abuse because she felt that by speaking up, she had caused the death of the man that had abused her. So she was fearful that by speaking again, she would cause someone's death.
Oh my gosh.
Now that's a real...
That's pretty severe.
Amazing thing. So, but I move on to Farley Mowat, who died this month. He was 92. He was a champion of the North, and he has written 40 books, as I say. He's, of course, been honored in Canada many times and somewhat forbidden from coming to this country because he's critical. He's critical of abuse of animals and of Inuit and Eskimo people. And his one phrase that I take issue with a little as a journalist that everyone quotes is, do not let the facts get in the way of the truth. But what he's saying is you can't always hear all the facts. So you may find the truth from some of the facts. You must gain as many facts. As a journalist, that's your job, is to look for all the facts that you can find, to share them as much as you can, and to synthesize that to become a truth sayer. And that's what he was. So his stories, like Never Cry Wolf, proved that wolves are not the destroyers of the reindeer and the deer and the elk and so forth. It really was man. That the wolves generally eat mice when there's mice and lemmings and everything else. They catch them by the hundreds every day. It's a wonderful thing. And they call the herds of their ill and injured animals, whereas the people go up and just kill indiscriminately and take the best of the animals, basically.
Right. Throw the balance all off and everything.
Yeah, it's true. So Farley... his legacy has been to stand for various things. For instance, he stood with Helen Caldecott at Port Hope when they went in and described the fact that depleted uranium is being manufactured there, endangering the people of that town, which was his hometown, too. This Farfarer's book is really fascinating for any of the guys. He's also done many adventure books called, like the Serpent's Coil. The Serpent's Coil is an adventure in the ocean. It's a ship that was abandoned and floated across the Atlantic on its own.
Wow.
It was listing so much that the crew left, and there were two salvage companies racing to make the claim and to gain that salvage. And this ship actually made it the whole way across, and it was a big storm. It was like a perfect storm that caused this all to happen. So they're all running around these storms. And the two groups, one was from Germany and one, or Holland, and one was from the northwest, Nova Scotia, I believe. And they did actually salvage the ship. But the story is really fascinating. This one has a thesis that he followed through time of going back to the sagas of the Vikings and proving that it wasn't just the Vikings that came to Iceland, Greenland, and Newfoundland, that there was a pre-civilization that could only be tracked down by verbal history and by ancient maps that showed Iceland and Greenland in very crude fashion, but that they were Precambrian in their voyages in skin fishing boats that accidentally made it across and then came back and told others, and then they were chased out by the Celts. And the Celts were the ones that kind of dominated over what they called the Albans, or the Precambrian civilization that was way up in the Orkneys, the Orkney Islands, and they all sort of escaped from each other one after another, and then finally the Vikings came and chased the Celts across. So, but he shows these remnants of buildings, cairns, and old rock structures that they have decided were roofed by the boats that they came over in.
Oh, wow. Great.
And that's why there's only the foundation left. But it's based on his groundbreaking research through archival material, ancient maps, and the sagas told by the Vikings, who said, we came and there were white people there already.
Oh, wow.
We had to kill them and eat them. No.
Sarah, what's the title of that book? That sounds interesting.
This is called, it's called the Farfarers. In the UK, it's called The Search. Well, let's see, the subtitle is Before the Norse.
Okay, great.
So that's it.
Okay, well, thank you. Well, folks, summer reading, Maya Angelou or Farley Mowat. Check it out at the bookstores. And Karen, as always, thanks for dropping by and sharing that information. Two giants in the literary world that have left us, but their work is still with us. All right, well, let's get on with the rest of our show here today. I invited two friends of mine, actually three, but one was really, really busy. So she sent a couple of other folks in her place and works very closely with her. I want to remind you this is a call-in show, and if you have questions for our guests, please feel free to give us a call at 753-5225. Okay, before I introduce folks, I'm going to do a little introduction here. And you know that I like Facebook and technology and that. And I posted the other day who's going to be on the show, and I have an unsolicited commentary. And this is regarding the Children's Safety Village over in Asheville. This is from a colleague of mine, Velvet Persons, who's a Facebook friend of mine. She says, I took my second grade class to the Safety Village and felt that it was the best field trip ever. We did the fire safety and road safety courses. I feel every school district should invest in sending the first, second, and third grade classes. Very important information there, and the kids remember it. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome our guests today, Jessica Dayton and Kelly Powell, to the show. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
Kelly just dropped in at the last second, so we'll let you catch your breath a little bit. But I've been pretty well informed and involved with the Safety Village for quite a while. But we're going to talk about all kinds of things here today, okay? And so I don't even know where to begin. But let's begin with why I invited you here today, is I wanted you to talk to us about this thing that's going to be on June 14th. And I know, Jessica, this was your brainchild. I know this one because I was there when it happened.
It was, yeah. So June 14th, we're actually hosting our first Safety Village Dash and Bash. And it is going to be a 1K fun walk around the Safety Village streets, as well as a 5K run and a 5K walk down into the heart of Asheville. You can actually see the logo right there. So if you participate in the 5K, you go down into the heart of Asheville and then come back to the Safety Village. You could register to either run it or walk it. And then we're having a bike tour around Chautauqua Lake or around part of Chautauqua Lake. So you can choose two different routes to take, which is a 42-mile bike ride via routes 394 and 430 into Mayville from the Safety Village, and down into Jamestown and back to the village, or you can choose the 27.5-mile bike tour, which would end at Bemis, and you would take the Stowe Ferry back across and back to the Safety Village. And so it doesn't stop there, because after everybody participates in the events itself, we're going to have the dash portion of the event, or the bash portion, I'm sorry, of the event. That was the dash portion, all of the different events that we're holding. And that's where we're going to have an awards ceremony where we're giving prizes in 16 different categories for people that take part in the run, in 12 different categories for people that take part in the walk, and then we're raffling off prizes for the non-timed events. And we're also having games, food, a bounce house, all sorts of things going on there that day. So you don't just leave after the event. If you register, you can do so online at children'ssafetyvillage.com. And then secondly, we're also hosting a contest for the community group or business or school group that has the most team participants. And this contest is in a way for us to give back to the community, and the community gives us so much, and all of the funds raised from the Dash and Bash are going to go to the important programs like the fire safety and the traffic and bike safety classes. But to encourage community participation through different groups, we're offering $1,000 to the group or team that has the most participants at our event.
$1,000?
It's $1,000. So if you are a 4-H group, or if you are a senior group that has a specific cause, any business, any school or organization that is trying to raise money for a certain cause, you just need to register for the contest through the Safety Village website, and then get anybody to register for our event on under their team name, and the team with the most participants will win that $1,000.
I think we should get the guys here at the studio. We can do the 1K walk.
You sure can.
Jeff, we can do this. Randy, we can do this. Okay, but now there's a cost involved, and I know that the cost a lot of times covers things like, so for instance, let's just go one group at a time. The bike tour, it says here $30, okay? So for $30, they're going to race. Are they racing?
Nope, it's a ride.
It's a ride. So it's not necessarily got to be the fastest. It's just got to get done.
We are going to time all of the events. The events will be chip time, but the biking is not a race.
Chip time? What do you mean by chip time?
So chip timing is where there's a disposable barcode that will be on the bib of the participant, and when they cross the starting line, their time will begin. That chip will actually go into a computer and start your time.
Okay.
And then when you come back, it will end your time. So if the bikers would like to know their timing, they can, but it's not a race.
Not a race. Okay, great. My daughter and I were in something called the Turkey Trot down in Presque Isle one year, and I had one of those chips, I think. It's like a little disc, and we put it in her shoe, and when you go past this beam or something or other, somehow you're associated with that number and your name and all that stuff.
Right.
So this is high-tech racing.
It is high-tech.
Okay, so do they get a T-shirt or something? Or?
The first 50 registrants get a free T-shirt. You can order additional T-shirts online if you'd like, and then everybody will get a free lunch after the event, as well as awards and prizes that we're handing out after the event.
Okay, so first 50. Do you have 50 people listed yet?
We're almost to 50 on the website.
All right,
we are also offering day of registrations, so if they don't register on the website, they can also come that day and register then.
You know, this is an opportunity too if you want to share anybody that's sponsoring this particular part of the program.
Absolutely. Our largest sponsor for the event is Cummins.
Cummins?
Yep, they are supportive.
The engine big company?
Yes, they are completely supportive of our event.
Awesome.
And then we have a bunch of smaller sponsors that are participating, like Tim Hortons and Manpower, and the Greater Chautauqua Federal Credit Union, places like that.
Great. It's great to see a community come together on this project. Now, aren't you glad that this idea you came up with was over a year ago, right?
It was.
It's actually happening, huh?
It is. It's very exciting. And I would like to let everybody know that people of all ages and abilities can come to this event. So if you want to participate in the Fun Walk 1K, that's just around the Safety Village streets. And also, Doc had mentioned earlier about volunteer opportunities. If there are any seniors out there that would like to volunteer that day, just give us a call, go to the website, or call our Executive Director, Terry Kinberg, at 499-8138, and we can actually get you signed up to volunteer that day at the event. And our volunteer opportunities are throughout the year at different events, so it's a great place to volunteer time.
Okay, Okay, so now if people want more information about the bike tour, we're only gotten that far, it's childrenssafetyvillage.com, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, let's go on to the 5K and the 1K. For the 5K, it's how much?
$20.
$20. And you giving T-shirts out up to a certain number there too, or no?
Right, and a free lunch to everybody that
So
participates.
the first how many?
50.
50. Okay. And 1K, sounds like our speed, Randy. $10.
Yep.
And first 50?
Yep.
Have you filled it up yet?
Not quite.
I got to have those. So
you better go online and register.
I better hurry up. The only reason I would do the 5K, because I like doing 5Ks, walking, but we're going to be here. We're going to be doing the program, so we'll try to get over for the 1K. How's that sound?
That's wonderful.
Okay, let's leave this for a little bit, and if anyone has any questions, give Jessica a call right here at the show, 753-5225 or 753-JACK. Okay, with us we also have Kelly Powell, who's just sitting here going like, please don't ask me any questions. But she's looking very, I'm trying to think what's the proper term for a female officer, dapper. You're looking very dapper.
Thank you.
You got a badge and a uniform and everything. So what is your role these days?
Well, I am on the board, of course. I've sat with you for years on the board, and I've also taken on the position as a safety instructor at the Children's Safety Village.
Okay.
So I'm helping children learn bike safety, car traffic safety, as well as in-house safety. So that's what we're doing now. We just started this week first aid safety. We had fourth graders that came in from Jamestown schools, and we ran them through a first aid curriculum that was just fantastic. We were able to put a real life scenario, a real life scene in a bedroom and a kitchen of what could actually happen and what a child could experience in their home or in a neighbor's home, and how they would respond and react and help someone in need with some basic first aid. So it was wonderful. The kids loved it. They thought it was a little exciting. They played detective. There's a little bit of gore for the kids who like that kind of stuff.
Great.
And it was just a lot of hands-on, which is the great part about the village, is everything is hands-on. You know, I tell these kids, this village was created for you. When in history has there been a village built for a child, and to keep them safe and to keep them empowered and part of our community? It's just a wonderful experience. These kids just eat this up. And when we wave goodbye at the end of our day with them, just the excitement on their faces and the love and the feel-good moments, it's just wonderful.
Well, it was certainly echoed from Velvet's commentary about what was the best field trip ever. I mean, teachers take kids field trips over the years, and for her to state that's a big thumbs up.
That's a great compliment.
We've just jumped into this topic, but we really need to roll the tape back a little bit. You know, I look pretty good in glasses on TV, don't I? I should wear them more often. Let's just roll back a little bit about the history of the village, as much as you can fill in. I'll help you a little bit.
Okay.
The purpose, where it's located. Because right now, we all know about it here on this side of the camera, but folks over there may not know everything. So how about you give us the thumbnail elevator speech about the Safety Village? How's that?
Sure. The village, it has taken over 15 years to generate the funding to create this $1 million plus property with these individual buildings. We are fortunate. There are less than actually 20 safety villages in this country, so we are so blessed to have it here in our backyard for our children and our community. The opening day was just 2010, October of 2010, so we've just come a long way with this in just 4 years. It's amazing to see what we've accomplished. Doc, you were sitting in on this years ago, though, when everyone was meeting, trying to gain funding for this 15 years ago, right?
Well, it was even longer, because the Sertoma Club of Jamestown had gone up to Waterloo to look at their safety village up there. And they came back and pestered Joe Gerasi to take a look at this, and so they went up there, and I'm giving you the quick version of this, but this went back to about 1996. So however, that's 18 years anyways. Yeah. And then a board of directors was formed, and I came in very early on there. I helped start the 501c3, and we went through a variety of directors and so forth. And as Kelly said, this was a long time coming, and a lot of people put a lot of hours into the program, but eventually they got the funding. And where is for the folks here, why don't you tell us where it is, and what would they see if they showed up there? What would they see?
When you arrive at the village, which is located on Route 394, right outside of the Bosse's Votech Center in Asheville, you're going to walk into this beautiful facility where we have our classroom and curriculum, and then there are 28 buildings on site, and we have a miniature McDonald's, non-operational. I tell all the
No
kids
mini
that.
burgers.
Don't bother with the drive-through, it's not going to work. And we have a church, a library, a hospital, a children's pediatrics center, Jamestown Pediatrics, a railroad station.
Yeah.
JCC just put up a new building. Zama Matson just put up a new building. It's just been wonderful. So we have a miniature village within, with beautiful sidewalks and streets and all that. And it is just a gorgeous property. You need to please come up and visit us and take a tour. And again, hopefully we'll get you on the volunteer list, and then we can really show you how much fun and how much entertaining and educating we can do up at the Safety Village.
So you have this little village, it's about safety. Is there an overall mission statement that you kind of follow? Why do you do all this? Who cares? I know that sounds crass, but the point is, why do you do it?
You know what, my thing, I was driving here this morning, I was thinking about why do I do this? Because I have volunteered hundreds of hours before I ever decided to do the instructor portion of this. And you know, our kids are going to stay in our community for the most part. They're going to grow up, hopefully, and raise their families here. And when they are empowered as a child to be safe and to protect themselves, they're better community members for us. And these are the people that will take care of us someday. And these are the people that will be responsible for educating our grandkids someday. And so I guess that's why I do it. It's just I've seen a lot through my childhood, as have others. And I just really... Stronger kids make a stronger community, period. That's my belief. And if I can have my hand in that, helping even one child in a fire situation or a car situation, then I guess that's a level of success. Ralph Waldo Emerson said, if you can help, if one life breathes easier because I have lived, that is a measure of success. And
very good.
That's what I believe in every day.
And I think what we forget sometimes is that as parents, we forget to teach safety. Okay? We forget how do we cross the street. We forget when you're near water, what should you do, this and that and the other. And people say, well, they teach that in school. Common Core curriculum, the standards, everything that's going on out there, there's very little time for this. Well, we have Fireman Safety Week. Yes, we do. And they come out and they explain certain things. The Safety Village is a whole nother matter. And Jess, maybe you can speak to how does a school get their kids there? Can you explain that a little bit to the folks?
Yeah, absolutely. We actually have a variety of programs that the kids can take part in, and all they need to do is call and schedule classes. And once they schedule classes, because our schedule fills up pretty quickly, we have a class every May. It would be the 499-8138, which is...
slow down. 499.
Sorry.
We're live. This isn't radio. 499. I'm writing this down. 499. Go ahead.
8138.
8138.
And that would bring you to our executive director, Terry Kinberg.
Okay.
And they could choose which class that they would like to participate in.
Okay.
And I'd like to add also that a lot of times what kids hear, they may forget about, but what they can see and touch and feel and do, they will remember. So all of this safety education, they're actually participating in.
And you keep talking about touching and doing. One of you, I don't care, one of you both, pick. All right, let's do this. Each one of you think of a scenario of one first, second, third grader comes into the village, and maybe describe what's going on. What's the activity that? Because this is not just sitting there listening to don't play with matches and don't do this, right? So let's start with Kelly. We'll give Jess a minute to breathe here and think. So
sure.
Pick a scenario.
There's a great scene in the kitchen that happens.
The kitchen.
The kitchen.
You got a kitchen?
We have a kitchen. We have a full functioning kitchen, and that is part of our classroom at the Children's Safety Village. The children will go in with the instructor, and they'll talk about various hot spots in a kitchen, like we all have at home. And unbeknownst to the children, the instructor will flip a switch and the kitchen will start filling up with smoke.
Do they panic?
We warn them ahead of
Oh, all
time
right.
that something's going to
Something's gonna
happen so
happen.
that they can learn hands-on about this. So they flip the switch, the smoke fills the kitchen, they learn how to exit safely out of that kitchen. And that's a great event for these kids. They never forget that scene.
Okay. And
Yeah.
Jess, how about something that you'd like to share?
I think another wonderful tool that we use is outside the kitchen, we also have a bedroom. That bedroom
Wait a
has...
minute, we got a house there?
We pretty much kind of have a house.
So this is like, if I was at home with the kids, this is sort of like a model of what it would look like?
It is.
Okay.
It is a mock, building, and in it we've staged this kitchen and this bedroom. And for the bedroom scene, the kids will actually enter the room. We have a door that also you can turn on, and the door heats up. So we allow
out.
all the kids to touch the door. They can see that
What's it feel like?
it feels warm, it feels hot, and we educate them on what to do
Well,
when...
why do you do that?
So that they wouldn't go through a door that
Oh, 'cause the fire
there's fire
is
on the other side.
Okay,
so
gotcha.
so by feeling the door, if it's hot, they would know not to go through that doorway. But as we also teach them what to do in that event, and we encourage all of the kids to have a safety ladder, or with their parents to go and purchase a safety ladder where you can install that on your window. And we also have the kids practice.
So it's like one of those extension ladders?
It is. It's like a rope ladder.
Oh, it's a rope ladder.
It's a rope ladder that they would put outside the window. It hooks right onto your window.
That's easy.
And then the kids actually practice using
Oh,
the rope
that's like
ladder.
one of those little hooky things, and it goes
Yes.
on the, and
Yep.
then you just kind of.
Yep, and then they actually get to practice going down the ladder and following an escape plan to safety.
An escape plan. What's an escape plan?
Is a plan that families would have in the event of a fire and emergency for the children to know how to get out of the house safely and where to meet afterwards so that they're all accounted for. It could be a tree across the street, it could be a neighbor's home, but they need to have somewhere that the family can meet afterwards.
Okay, so you put all this time and money, you do all this teaching and so forth. Do you have any results?
Oh, I think we do. Every day we had a child years ago, or no, just a year ago, I think, who had a fire in their home. Did you talk about
Not
the
yet.
dog? No? Okay. Madeline had gone to the safety village. Oh,
Madeline's a little girl?
yes, she was probably in second grade, and she'd gone through our safety course program, our fire safety program, and she had pestered her dad to have a meeting place and to have a plan when she got back home. And finally, they got it, they had the plan together, and unfortunately, one evening there was a fire in their home, and their house was destroyed. Their dog had awakened them, and as soon as the dad woke up with Madeline they were downstairs, she wasn't feeling good that night, and when the fire erupted, the dog woke them up. They did lose the dog, but they were able to get out safely, wake the mother and the other two children upstairs, get to their meeting place outside, and the family survived. And that was one of our best stories. Another thing to think about too is we talk about having safety plans, but what I fail to do as a parent is have a safety plan for where they also visit. There's oftentimes that my children will stay at a grandparent's house, and accidents don't just happen at home, and they often need some safety plans for when they're at a caretaker's house or a grandparent's house. And that's really how our safety villages, we have recognition of 3 children who lost their lives at a grandparent's house years ago.
Tragic.
Yes, so that's...
So viewers, I will bet, and I don't bet very often, but I would bet the majority of us don't have a little plans somewhere in the refrigerator or somewhere where the kids, if they're visiting, I got grandkids, I guess we're going to have to talk about that. Luckily, I have a ranch, we got lots of doors, but it's easy for the kids to do what? They see fire, where do they go? They don't go out the door, where do they go?
They hide.
They hide.
They hide.
They get under the bed, they go in the closet or whatever. So we, as Kelly was saying, we need to empower them to say, No, grab that younger sister and work the plan, and don't go back for the dog. Don't do this. Do these things, right? So what are some of the things that they would do?
Well, the other thing too that when they're in this safety class, the fire safety class, we also have a person that will come in and get dressed as they're speaking to them, get dressed into fireman's garb or gear, and so that they can see that this person who becomes kind of scary after they're all geared up with their masks,
like somebody from outer space,
like a Darth Vader almost, right. And so we've heard reports of that. The children are frightened by firemen when they come in because it's such a scary sight. It's a scary environment. Now there's a scary intruder coming in. They hide and they pass and they perish. And so that's one of the things we do too, is we show them these are just real people in a protective gear so that they won't hide under the bed or the closet, which was where children have gone.
All right, so you talked about fire quite a little bit. What other kinds of safety do you do, Jess, over there?
We do traffic and bike safety.
Well, let's talk about that a little bit. It's summertime. Kids are out on their bikes, shooting across the street, not even looking that I'm coming down the street with my Silverado 1500 with all that weight.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So what are you talking with them about?
We actually teach them all of the road signs to watch out for. If we're teaching the bike safety, we would teach them all the hand signals to use when you're riding a bike to make sure that you're safe. And the kids actually, during the traffic safety course, after they learn in the classroom, they get to go out to the village and use electric cars that we have, and they get to drive around the village.
Oh, how cool would that be?
Yeah, yeah.
And bicycles?
And bicycles, yes.
So where do these all come from?
Donations.
Yeah.
Donations.
We have a building with about 50 bicycles inside.
Really?
And so after we do a little bit of classroom stuff, like Jessica mentioned, with the hand signals and rules of the road, we then go outside, and we might have 26 kids on bikes in the village, and it's just... Oh, it's fun. We have bikes with supports, we have mountain bikes, and everything in between. We also have a recumbent bike, and this just warmed my heart. We had a child with special needs, and the teacher arrived thinking in her heart that this little girl will have to sit out again. And sure enough, we were able to pull out a recumbent bike, and this child with CP was able to ride bike with her classmates on a field trip.
A recumbent bike is where they sit back and they don't have
two wheels in the back, the one in the front, the handlebars lower to her level, and she was able to pedal.
So this is open for all kids. It's just not.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, I when you told that story, I was thinking about this for some reason during the week about bike riding, because I see a lot of guys riding. And I grew up in the city of Buffalo, which is not a really particularly friendly, soft place to grow up as a kid. And my parents were just adamant that we were not going to ride bikes because kids got killed all the time in the city. And so my best friend now growing up, his name's Jim, he had a bike. So I thought, I got to try this out one of these days. So I get on this bicycle, and somehow I figured out how to stop. Now I'm talking like about 10 years old. I'm not talking like a little kid. I hadn't ridden a bike up to that point. And so I'm riding down the street. I'm going like, I'm doing it. And all of a sudden I run smack dab into what used to have those big mailboxes on the corners. And I crash and fall off the bike. And Jim runs up to me and goes, "You all right?" I go, "Yeah." I says, "But you didn't teach me how to brake." So I got the go in the front, going forward right. So after that, I did take a few more lessons on the mechanics of a bike. We got a phone call. Would you like to talk with somebody?
Absolutely.
Sure.
Good morning, caller. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Dak. Good morning, ladies.
What's up?
Yeah, we're talking about bikes. I've done the crash and things, so I know about that. I almost got run over a few weeks ago up by Lakewood Rod and Gun.
Ooh.
So you got to watch for the other people too. I mean,
Right.
they think just because they have a car, they could just cut right in front of you. My question, though, is water safety at the Safety Village.
Okay.
Chautauqua County is surrounded by water, like everywhere, several lakes, big Lake Erie. Do you teach any class on water safety?
As of now, we do not, but that's definitely something we would definitely consider, and we are expanding our curriculum. We are looking to add more and more classes so that we can follow children all through their school-aged years. But that's a great idea. We are going to have a summer camp this year, and you can contact the Children's Safety Village for that, and it's going to be a wonderful learning experience for kids. And we have talked We're going to work with the Sheriff's Office to see how we could have a day about water safety in our summer camp this year. So please call us and work with us and help us get that together.
Thank you. I worked with a little boat on the lake there, and you see people out there all the time. A lot of young kids on jet skis.
Oh boy!
I think they could start at age 10 or 12. So, they got to learn. The police are always stopping them out on the lake. So, I'm just glad to hear you're going to probably start a class on water safety, because they say we get a lot of water in the area. So, you guys are doing a great job. I've been down to the Safety Village. I'm really impressed. So,
all right. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you for calling in. See how easy that was, everybody? You just call the number, and we put you on a speaker, and we talk to you live. So don't hesitate to call if you've got something on your mind. Okay, I got a couple of questions here yet. Let's go back to where we started with the Dash and Bash. That's a fundraiser.
It is.
All right. But I also know that you have other fundraisers, and so what's with all the fundraising?
Well, we do have a few grants that we work off of. However, most of the funding that comes to the Safety Village are, like Kelly said, through donations, but we try to raise money to support the Safety Village programming directly to help the community be able to bring their kids to the Safety Village. So we do have a few other events that we hold every year. And after the Dash and Bash, our next event would actually be our Halloween event, which...
Kelly, that's yours, right?
which is our big Town of Terror.
What? You want to talk about that a little bit?
Oh my gosh, yes. When I first got involved in the Safety Village, we did a trick-or-treat event for Halloween in a safe, controlled environment for children, elementary-aged children and a bit younger. And after my first experience, I thought, wow, maybe we should try something a little bit bigger, a little bit scarier. And I think my comment to the board was, we should own Halloween. We should own it, because what a great village. They're outside, there's buildings, there's places to hide, and we've created an incredible scene. We have over 1,000 people that come for our last 2 years to this event.
Oh boy.
It's bad. We've had kids leave crying, mothers leaving a little unsure, and that was our goal, is to hit the tween to the adult that was kind of not being met in this area. I know I love Halloween. We've spent our money elsewhere. We've gone to Buffalo, we've gone to Erie, we've gone to Ellicottville to spend Halloween money and to have fun at these events. So we really, the talent is incredible. We'll have over 100 volunteers help us with this event. And it's just amazing. Some of the scare is top notch. I've been to the other events and I've seen, and the amount of creativity that has been brought, and the schools that get involved, the kids that show up every Friday night, every Saturday night, so excited about their role in scaring someone. It's kind of freaky and wonderful at the same time.
Well, but it's in a safe environment, right?
It is safe.
That's the whole idea, is to have fun, get a little scared, but you're safe and in a controlled environment, as opposed to, with kids running around out in the street and who knows what they're going to run into, right?
We put on about a 45-minute show. It's when you pay your ticket price, our goal is to entertain and /scare you, but we keep you there for 45 minutes. It's not like some of these other gigs that are 20 minutes or less. So we really put a lot of effort into this. This is our biggest fundraiser, and we really need the community to come out and support us on this, because it's just a wonderful time. Like I said, we've never had anything in Chautauqua County like this, or in our Jamestown area like this. So if you could please help us. And that also has turned into a competition where organizations or individuals could win some big money.
Good.
We have 28 buildings. They can pick a building to create your own theme, your own scare, and the public, those who come through the event will vote on the one that they like the best. And we have a $1,000, $500, and a $300 prize for those.
So we covered Dash and Bash, Halloween. We're going to get to the other events here in a second, but we got another phone call. So good morning, caller.
Good morning. I just have one quick question.
Sure.
Do you teach anything about maybe medication safety or something, so that they don't pick up grandma's pill that fell on the floor or something like that?
Oh, wonderful.
I'll just let you talk about that then.
Okay, thank you, caller.
Thank you so much. I cover that in my safety with pre-K and first graders. We talk about poisons, and we have a specific segment just about medications. And there are so many medications that look alike candies. And we actually have, I think, 8 Ziploc bags where I show children side by side how confusing it can be. A candy can look like a medicine and so forth. So we go through a whole range of those and talk about, if you found this in grandma's purse, if you found this on the floor in dad's car, would you ever take it? If you found a pill bottle with the lid off, what would your plan be? How can we make you more safe? So we do cover that for quite a bit of time in our classroom, with as well as lead poisoning and the liquid poisons, such as the household cleaners, how they look alike. A bottle of Pine Sol looks like the same color as apple juice, and how that can be very confusing, especially for younger ones. So we empower these older kids, these pre-K and kindergartners or first graders. Kindergartners and first graders. We empower them to even help protect their younger siblings as well.
Great. Okay, so hopefully that answers your caller. Let's go back to a couple more projects that's going on. Jess, what else is going on besides Halloween and this new event?
Well, as Kelly explained, the Halloween Town of Terror is for tweens all the way through adults. We do not suggest that kids under the age of 12 usually come, just because it is quite scary. But during Halloween, right before Halloween, we actually have a Halloween fun fair for kids that is family friendly. The kids can come and trick or treat safely between all of the 28 buildings, and they don't have to worry about going door to door in their neighborhoods. We also have games and prizes and face painting, so it's and food. You can come, have a meal, trick or treat around the 28 different buildings, and have a great time. We have music, so it's a family friendly event that we host every year before Halloween.
Okay. I also know we're running out of time. Believe it or not, I told you it's going to go quick. You have, according to my notes, an Easter event?
We do. We also have an Easter carnival. It's similar in the fact to the Halloween event, that the kids actually get to go building to building and get candy for their Easter basket. We have an Easter parade, and we have probably 10 to 12 carnival games that the kids can play as well, that they can get tickets for and play. We have face painting, we have food, we raffle off different baskets and prizes, things like that. So again, it's a very family-friendly event, and we get thousands of people that have come to that event as well. So they're very popular within our community.
Okay, right now I'm taking your picture because Terry just texted me and wanted to know if you had shown up. So
there's proof.
I got living proof. I don't usually do this, but I sometimes do these weird things. Okay, and Christmas. I understand you do something at Christmas time too.
Yeah, we've done in the past. We've had Winter Wonderland, and that's actually been a village craft show that vendors would come and select a building, and they can sell their craft or their goods that they would sell at other craft shows in the building, and we open that up to the public so that the public can come walk around the village. And there's Christmas lights that we have up. We have Christmas music, food, so it's a lot of fun.
Wow. What a gem for the community, the Children's Safety Education Village in Asheville. Okay, we're down to that's the clock right there is our downtime here. That's all we've got left. So Kelly, how about I'll give you 30 seconds and just 30 seconds to say anything you want about the Dash and Bash or the Safety Village, okay?
Well, I just want to thank the community. I tell you, and I also want to thank the teachers. We have classrooms that come in, and I see just the wonderful kids in our community and the wonderful teachers who do this every day. We get the fun job. I say I have the funnest job in the world. I get these wonderful kids that get to come in, and they're so eager to learn and so excited, and I get to spend some time with them about bike safety or road safety, and then take them out in the village and practice what they've learned on bikes or cars. But the true heroes, well, that's the other thing we were talking about just yesterday, is that, the true heroes, the Superman heroes and all that aren't real, but the true heroes are the firemen and the EMTs and the teachers and the people in the community who serve children, who serve us in emergency and educational needs. And I just want to thank the community for supporting the Children's Safety Village as you have, because without you, we can't do this. And if we can't do this, we can't save a child's life.
Okay.
So thank you.
Just 20 seconds. She used up 10 of yours.
Okay, really quickly, I did want to mention that we also offer CPR classes for people, adults that want to be trained.
Oh.
But I also want to let everybody know that volunteering is huge for us at the Safety Village. We need volunteers for every event that we do. If you're a senior, if you're a teenager, in any age in between, we encourage you to come and participate and volunteer with us.
And the number?
499-8138 is the number you can call.
And the last event we're going to be doing is the Dash and Bash on Saturday, June 14th at the Safety Village. So give them a call, 499-8138. Ladies, thanks so much for joining me here at the Senior Report.
Thank you.
I want to thank Kelly and Jessica for joining us. I hope this was of interest to all of you. Have a wonderful weekend. I want to thank the crew here at the Access 5. I got Randy on camera, Chris out back doing all the technical things, Jeff in our engineering booth taking care of all of us as always. I want to thank Chuck Kelsey for inventing this studio and so forth, and all the folks that have come before me. Have a wonderful weekend, enjoy the great weather, and most of all, be well. Doc Hamill signing off.